Namaste, my friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and I help people navigate through their spiritual awakening process. And today I'm going to share with you 5 things I think you should know about the upcoming new moon on May 15th, 2018. One of the reasons I'm making this video prior to that date is because of how powerful it is and what it represents, which is very significant. I would say if there was one word I could use to sum up the theme of these times, which I would imagine most of you are feeling intensely right now, is rebirth. It's like we've been making our way up this ascension ladder, and now we've gotten to like where I'm at, kind of like where it's getting steep now. And it's not going to be this progressive, somewhat predictable, linear upward path. There's a massive summit that we have to climb. And we're getting ready to climb that summit. We're getting ready to scale that wall. But we're realizing we brought too much stuff. Our bags are too heavy with emotional baggage and traumas and pain and egoic attachments and misaligned beliefs. And it's like we're standing at the base of this peak here. And it's time to let go very quickly, almost like taking our backpack off and dropping it. And then how much lighter would that feel? It's like that. We're very, very quickly expelling from our being anything that is not going to resonate with that new frequency at the top of the mountain. So we're going through, in a sense, a rebirth, a renewal, a massive, massive ascent in our vibrational frequency so we can be in harmony with the new energy that's coming strong this summer. As I normally do, I will break this down again into 5 different sort of separate sub-themes to help clarify my message. Before I do, I just want to say what's up to you guys. Welcome. I know a lot of my newer subscribers come from these updates and these energy updates. I just want to say it's good to have you here. As a gift to all of my subscribers, I have a free guided meditation that I made myself. It'll help you embody this new frequency. It's free again. It's down below in the description box. Check it out if you'd like. Otherwise, we will get right into the video. Number 1 is intensity. I don't have to tell you that. I know that's probably pretty obvious. It reminds me of this particular tarot card I used to not like getting when I was flipping through cards. I had this, my favorite tarot deck is the Osho Zen tarot deck. And they have sort of a different take on a lot of the different, the arcanas and what the different cards symbolize. There's one in particular that in the typical traditional tarot is a tower card, where you see people flying off the tower. They call it the transformation card, which is kind of like what's happening right now. It's like we need to get up to that mountain, and it's like whatever you've been carrying this whole time, it's just not going to fly anymore. And most of us have a lot of it. So our life is just shifting us around, almost like shaking us loose. Imagine like a little kid hung upside down, just shaking the change out. We are just being shaken and squeezed of all of these denser energies and vibrations that are preventing us from taking this huge leap and spike forward. So if you feel that way, if your life is sort of reflecting that, don't worry. Don't think that there's something wrong or you made a wrong turn or there's something to be concerned about. Just breathe and trust and let go, and then let go some more, and you will feel very different, a lot better, very much renewed and light and clean and purified before you know it. Number 2 is when this happens, sometimes you can go through something where issues you thought you've dealt with are not only back in full force, but magnified to an almost obnoxious degree. Maybe you had an issue of snacking at night, and you've been doing good for the past 3-4 months, and all of a sudden you're eating like two cartons of ice cream day after day after day, and you're like, why am I doing this? I feel so powerless and so obsessive and compulsive. What the hell is wrong with me? And it just seems so overwhelming. But that's only because it's an experience you might need to help pop you up the mountain and out of that old cycle. So it's not bad when something is getting kind of out of hand like that. It's because you are literally this close to transcending it forever, permanently. So when these things happen, I don't do this perfectly, but I do my best because I've been through this so many times that I know what it implies. I do my best to keep these situations in that broader context. That, yeah, I'm sucking in this area of my life big time, but I'm going to do my best not to judge myself. Rather, I'm going to look past it. I'm going to just sort of try to be present with it, learn the lessons inherent within the experience, knowing that in a very short span of time it's going to fade away off into my peripheral and be gone forever, and I'll be a better man as a result. I try to look at it in that whole context, because being sloppy with some area of your life is part of the same coin of the positive ramifications of you transcending it. And that's, if it's getting out of hand, that's what's happening right now. You're getting close and you're in the process of transcending it. You don't make mistakes. Your higher self doesn't attract these situations into your life because it's something you did wrong. It's because it's all very much perfectly orchestrated, designed solely for your transformation and you becoming your best self. So if you could just see it that way, it'll allow you to not beat yourself up and not feel guilty and not think you did anything wrong, rather to get excited because the severity of the situation is probably going to imply some massive shift. And in fact, it will. Number 3 is I wrote down good vibes / ups and downs. So all of what I described doesn't sound like a very pleasant experience, and it's not, but even though it's necessary for a lot of us. But within that, because of just how fast things are moving, you'll probably find yourself shifting through these experiences rather quickly. Where maybe on Monday night you were like having the worst night that you can remember in years, and then on Tuesday morning you had some dream the night before and it's like all resolved, you're all light, and then you get to experience the connection that can only come after a massive release, which is so discernible and more so obviously deeper and richer than you're used to, and the contrast is like almost ecstatic and blissful. So what I'm saying is, even though the first 2 points might not be something to look forward to, but combined with that, part of that same coin, going back to that analogy, are periods of deep connection, good vibes, glimpses of where you're heading, glimpses of how you'll feel when you get to the top of that mountain, allowing you to have faith, allowing you to embody that mindset I encourage you to have more easily. It's not something you just have to trust what Victor says. You'll have your own experience, your own positive experiences mixed within this, perhaps what could be looked upon as chaos, sufficient enough to give you faith and allow you to kind of keep going and have a deep, unshakable knowing that you know it's not just mindless, needless, pointless pain and suffering. It's transformation at the very root. And that will allow you to be very successful during this time. Number 4 is kind of a twofold. I wrote down 2 things. They go together. I wrote down incredible speed at manifestations and synchronicity, partly because of the new way we're going to be going through life, which is different. It's more truly embracing the new mode of operation, which is faith and intuition and synchronicity and divine guidance leading us through life, which is not easy to adapt to because a lot of the different intuitive nudges we get to do certain things can sometimes be so perplexing to our physical mind that says, no. This doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? Have you considered this, that, and the other? Obviously you haven't. You're being foolish. But it's not about that. It's time to listen to that knowing, that intuition, which for all of you is so obvious and loud. So many times I'm working with a client and they'll spend 10 minutes kind of going over a problem. And they might have hired me because they think I can help them. And what I usually do is say, well, what do you think needs to be done? What's your take on this? And they always know. It's always like, well, yeah, it just means this. I need to let go of this. And it's like, there you go. Let it be obvious. It is obvious for you, old soul with a heightened intuition now. And if you can start living with that, which takes faith for a little while, you will start to have the proof to settle down and satisfy your physical mind's concerns, because it too will see, wow, this path of faith really is effective. It's effective in all ways, effective in a practical sense, effective for my spiritual growth and my own inner satisfaction and contentment. It's just a wonderful way to go through life. And it's becoming pretty much necessary to do that, because when we act out of alignment, especially during moon phases, it stings, it's painful. And that might seem cruel, but it's saying, listen, you're insisting on doing this way. And even though, in spite of the fact that you know you should be doing this over here, so we're going to give you this contrast-like experience because it's so much better going that way, even though your mind might not understand the reasoning initially why you've been guided to go that way. My point is, my friends, go with the flow. Let go of the old linear way of going about life. It's just not going to work anymore. And you already know that. You're already experiencing that, and so am I. I'm not saying it's easy, but I can tell you this, it gets easier the more you trust and act from your intuition. Again, the more your mind gets on board and you become more of a integrated and holistic sort of version of yourself, where these leaps of faith aren't so much perceived as leaps of faith, rather just the wisest thing to do always. Number 5 is the experiences you need to become the person you came to be. One of my former clients, which is now a friend of my wife's and mine, but she talks to her all the time on the phone, called my wife up and said, listen, I had this job opportunity and housing situation all lined up for me in South Florida. And I sold everything and I went down there, and it turns out the job wasn't there. It's not going to start until the next season, and now my roommate's weary that I'm not going to be able to pay the rent and it's going to kick me and my son out. And the way my wife sort of brought this to my attention was almost like, can you believe this? And my reaction was absolutely no sympathy whatsoever. I just said, okay. And you might look at that as cruel, but I know this person and I know this type of experience and what it does. This is perhaps the biggest blessing in this woman's life, because it's gonna make her dig really, really, really deep when, if not sufficiently provoked, sometimes we don't have the motivation to do such things, but this is gonna say, whoo, it's going to mold her and shape her into the great woman and teacher and old soul that she really is deep down. This situation is going to help unleash that. That's what all these challenges do. They help reveal to you who you really are. It's a powerful time. We're getting ready to make a massive, massive, massive leap and shift. And along with that, again, comes a lot of transformation. My point of this video is to help you see that transformation for what it truly is. And then you can roll with the changes really smoothly, almost appreciating them along the way. And it can be a very nice and smooth an effortless transition that a lot of people say is possible, but most of us going through it say there's no freaking way. There is a way, and that's to do what I said, number 4, to trust your intuition, to literally just ignore the roaring of the physical mind as you're inspired to do things that just seem to be out of place and out of character. It's a time to embrace that intuition, because that's who you really are, and you know what to do. Anyways, my friends, I think I've said enough about this new moon. Obviously, I feel very passionate and hopeful about it. And I really feel like this summer is going to be explosive in a phenomenal way. Like we are just being lifted up very quickly at a rate that we've never experienced here before on Earth. And what we're going through now is sort of like the last hurrah of this transformation so that we can have this nice ascent, just like getting on an elevator and boom, ding, you've arrived, okay? Anyways, my friends, I wish you nothing but the best. You know I'm here for you. I love you all. Have an amazing day. And just thank you for all your support and all your love and just all of your kindness, because there are a lot of times where I don't practice what I'm telling you here. And I see the love I get from you guys, and it helps inspire me to have that courage to follow my intuition, which still sometimes surprises me. Okay, so as I help you, you help me. Whoops, this fly. So thank you. I wish you all nothing but the best. I hope you enjoyed this scenery. I'll show you a bit what I'm looking at. I'm up here in the Red Rock Mountains, and it's fantastic. So peace, my friends. Talk to you soon. Namaste.